Hello everyone and welcome to the Shadow Realm. Today we're going to showcase my Adamancipator deck profile post-Synchro Storm. This is one of the sleeper decks of the format and no one is really prepared for it. And now with the release of Baronne De Fleur, the deck has another layer of interruption and the second Synchro 10 other than Satellite Warrior. Now before we start, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Let's now dive into the deck profile. To start things off, we're playing triple copies of Adamancipator Analyzer, the best going second starter that this deck has. If your opponent controls monsters and you don't, you can special summon this card for free, and all the Adamancipator main deck monsters share the same effect where you can excavate the top 5 cards from your deck and special summon a level 4 non-tutored rock monster. Next we're playing triple copies of Adamancipator Seeker. You can special summon him for free if you control the Adamancipator monster, and the fact that it's a level 2 is really important since you can special summon many Synchro monsters with it. Now let's move to the best Adamancipator tuner monster. We're playing triple copies of Adamancipator Researcher. This is the best card that you can see in your opening hand since it can special summon itself if you control a rock monster, and it acts as a really great target for Gallant Granite. This was the most expensive card out of the Adamancipator strategy, but thankfully it got reprinted in the 2021 Megatins, and it's an amazing card that you can splash in any rock deck. Now moving on, we're playing the best supplementary engine in the deck, the Brankage engine. We're playing triple copies of Brankage Roxys and 1 copy of Brankage Dropsys. Using the effect of any of the main deck Adamancipator monsters allows you to special summon the 1 copy of Roxys and link Climb easily into a copy of Apollousa. The effect of Roxys allows you to draw more cards, while Dropsys gives you 1000 life points. This can be quite the lifesaver, especially going to time. Next we're playing triple copies of Doki Doki. This card allows you to send 1 rock monster from your hand and special summon from the deck 1 monster with the same original level. Especially useful to special summon any of the main deck Adamancipator monsters, use their effects to excavate cards and then go for Synchro plays. And since this card is a level 2, you can easily make Herald. Now the last main deck Adamancipator card is double copies of Adamancipator Crystal Dragate. Dragate allows you to draw 1 card when special summoned with the effect of an Adamancipator card, and also when this card is in the graveyard you can shuffle back a level 8 Synchro monster from your graveyard and stack this card back in the top of the deck. In the grind game, this allows you to return back Dragate to the extra deck and continue with your plays after that, possibly board wiping your opponent once again, and this wouldn't be an Adamancipator deck without the Quakimeru engine. We're playing triple copies of Quakimeru Guardian. This is the best card that you can excavate with your Adamancipator cards and allows you to have a monster negate on the field, and keep in mind that the negate is once per copy. Next, I am playing double copies of Quakimeru Sandman and 1 copy of the Quakimeru Supplier. If you have the money, I highly suggest you replacing the 2 copies of Quakimeru Sandman with 2 copies of Quakimeru Supplier. Quakimeru Supplier allows you to chain block the effects of your monsters and also adds 1 Quakimeru card to your hand. Now if you don't have access to Quakimeru Supplier, you can play Sandman instead because it provides you with a trap negate, especially useful against infinite impermanence. It can also be great going second against some of the trap decks of the format. Next, for the tech choice of the deck, we're playing a single copy of Sentry of Stone. If this card is in the graveyard, you can special summon it if you control rock monsters, and also you can use it in order to special summon a Turian Beast. Since every deck herald relies on spells, this is a great deck choice. Next, the best extender in the deck, we're playing triple copies of Parallel Exceed. This card allows you to link Live easily into Apollousa, chain block the effect of Brankage monsters, and also allows you to overlay for Gallant Granite and search for your extenders if you need to. Also, the fact that it's a wind attribute comes into play, especially if you Synchro summon Riptide, because you have the relevant banish effect in the graveyard. Now the last deck choice of the deck, we're playing 1 copy of Gigantes. You can easily special summon Gigantes by banishing 1 rock monster from the graveyard, and the effect to destroy all spells and traps on the field if it gets destroyed by battle comes into clutch in some scenarios. Now let's go to the spell lineup. We're playing a single copy of Magical Midbreaker Field. In my opinion, this card is essential in this deck because it protects your monster from being targeted, meaning that your opponent won't be able to use Veiler or Imperm on your monsters. And once you finish with your combo, you can get rid of this card. Next we're playing the best spell card in the deck, triple copies of Adamancipator Signs. This card is not once per turn monster reborn that can also stack your deck if you revive back an Adamancipator monster, meaning that you will excavate the monster that you need. Also keep in mind that you can easily revive back your Synchro monsters, so you can wipe your opponent's field. Now for consistency purposes, we're playing double copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This card allows you to draw 2 cards, take control 1 of your opponent's monsters, or shuffle back 1 of their starters. Next, for consistency purposes, we're playing double copies of Pot of Desires. Usually you want to activate this card when you have all the cards that you need in rotation, and then continue with your plays after that. If you don't like the desires in the deck, you can choose to replace it with hand traps. And the last card in the deck is triple copies of Forbidden Droplets. If you don't have access to this card, you can choose to replace it with Chalice or Dark Ruler No More, but it enables you to go second and not decay your opponent without any interruption. or set it as another interruption on your turn. Now let's dive into the extra deck. We're playing a single copy of Nyaamoo and one copy of Baobab. Fun fact, Nyaamoo is also a rock monster that allows you to special summon Researcher while it's on the field. And Baobab is a great material for Apollousa and also an equip for Savage Dragon. Some of you might not like the Pranked engine, but it's really essential in this deck and allows to have a higher ceiling. Now moving on, we're playing the single copy of Crystal Hulky Fibrax. You usually use this card to help you with your Synchro plays, and you want to keep it on the field, so you can banish it and special summon a Synchro monster during your opponent's turn. Next we're playing a single copy of Nightmare Unicorn in order to shuffle back our opponent's resources. We're also of course playing one copy of Apollousa above the goddess. This card is easily made using the Pranked engine. You need to establish this card early on the board in order to combo easily. It's also an amazing card, especially against decks like Tritron. Next we have the single Exist monster of the deck, Gallant Granite. This card allows you to search any rock monsters that you need, so you can continue with your combos with it. If you find the space, you can usually play another Exist monster. Preferably, I would choose to play a Beast Dweller, because it's a blowout card against many of the meta decks. Let's now go into the Synchro lineup. We're playing a single copy of Naturia Beast, one copy of Formula Synchron, and one copy of Herald of the Arclight. Formula Synchron is usually the targeted with special summon with Crystal Hulky Fibrax during an opponent's turn that allows to draw a card and usually can go into Herald. We're of course also playing the copy of Naturia Beast, since we can easily make it using the level 3 and the level 2 tuner, and if we can pair it up with Herald of the Arclight on the field, our opponent cannot use droplets to negate our board. Also keeping in mind that Formula Synchro allows you to also Synchro summon for level 8s or level 10s, and you will see the targets that we have later in the video. Now let's move on to the Synchro 6s of the deck. We're playing a single copy of Crystal Regent Dragite. This card is really essential in the combo. It allows you to excavate and special summon in defense any rock monster from the deck, and also acts as a DD Crow if we have Parallel Exceed in the graveyard. Next for the generic Synchro 8s, we're playing a single copy of Crystal Wing and one copy of Borreload Savage Dragon. If we already have Apollousa on the field, we want to go into Borreload Savage Dragon and equip it with a Link 2 from the graveyard, but if we don't have that, we can go into Crystal Wing and have a monster negated to protect our board. It's also a better card if we want to deal with our opponent's Dragoon. And now the best Synchro monster in this deck is one copy of Adamancipator Regent Dragite. If we have a water monster in the graveyard, either Dropsys or the Rock, we have a quick effect spell and trap negate, and also on your turn you can excavate the top 5 cards from your deck, and you can bounce back with non-target cards your opponent controls. And now for the last 2 cards in the extra deck, we're playing a single copy of Satellite Warrior and one copy of Baronne De Fleur. Baronne provides the deck with an Omni Negate, but Satellite Warrior is a great card, especially if you go against backrow decks, because during your opponent's turn, when your opponent set cards, you can quick effect, use Crystron's effect to special summon Formula Synchron, Synchro the Satellite Warrior, and destroy cards your opponent controls equal to the Synchro monsters you have in the graveyard. And this card can also float into Formula Synchron if it dies from the field. That's why you need to have the options in order to go either first or second. Now let's dive into the side deck. We're playing triple copies of Twin Twisters in order to go against backrow decks, and we also supplement that with one copy of Red Reboot and 2 copies of Lightning Storm. If you see a combination of Red Reboot and either Twin Twisters or Lightning Storm, you have the match against any of the backrow decks. You usually side out droplets and some of the main deck extenders for these cards. Now for the rest of the side deck cards, we're playing triple copies of Droll and Longbird and triple copies of Artifact Lancia. Droll is really great against many of the rock matchups, and especially great against the Drytron deck. On the other hand, Lancia can be an amazing card, especially against the PK and Tri-Brigade matchups. In this format, you want to have high impact cards in your side deck, because these cantrips will slow down your opponent and allows you to play and combo off during your own turn. And now, as for the last cantrip in the side deck, we're playing triple copies of Infinite Impermanence. This card might not be high impact, but it's really impactful against decks like Tri-Brigade and decks that make Apollousa, because you can negate your opponent's Apollousa and continue with your combos after that. It's also great against the Sorcel and Flanders matchups. And that basically wraps up today's deck profile. If you enjoyed today's video, don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. The link to my Discord server is in the description, and I will see you all in the Saturel.